Live from KSAT 12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
2 children now in CPS care and a woman under arrest after a heartbreaking discovery by police on Sunday afternoon.
The kids found in terrible conditions at a duplex on the city's southeast side. We first told you about this story last night on the Night Beat.
Our Lee Waldman is live at Public Safety Headquarters this evening with details on the condition of those kids and, Lee, what we know about the suspect in this case.
Well, tonight we know that those kids are safe. They're in foster care this evening. As for the woman arrested, Priscilla Ann Salias, well, we were there as she was taken to county jail. She kept her head low and walked past us. The 37-year-old is facing 2 counts of child endangerment after what Police Chief William McManus says were unforgivable conditions. We know police were called to a duplex on Bailey Avenue near Rigsby Avenue about the 2 kids Sunday afternoon. Police forced their way into a bedroom where they found the little ones. A 1-year-old girl was hog-tied with a bloody lip and blackened eye. A 2-year-old boy barricaded in a playpen. The chief said it was like a makeshift cage. Chief McManus saying both kids were heavily soiled, and as she was taken into an SAPD cruiser, Celaya said, "We've got it all wrong."
It's true. Y'all need to get y'all facts straight. Y'all releasing. Talk to my grandma.
We know Salias is not biologically related to those 2 children, but she was their guardian. And tonight we've also learned that Salias is not a registered licensed foster parent with the state of Texas. At Public Safety Headquarters, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Lee. A house fire northwest of downtown ends with 1 woman dead. It was just before 10 p.m. last night when firefighters responded to the home on West Ridgewood Court. That's near West Hildebrand Avenue and I-10. Our Max Massey spoke with neighbors and heard from first responders about what happened.
Oh, gosh. This was the scene that caused neighbors to run out of their homes, call 911, and stand and watch in disbelief as this house burned to the ground.
We had reports of an elderly female that was still inside, so fire crews prioritized the search on arrival, but it appears she was deceased already before we got here in the area of the house that had the heaviest fire involvement.
Neighbors I spoke with who provided the startling video, they did not want to go on camera, but they did tell me they didn't know the woman who lived here and who died here. As for firefighters, they say they acted as quickly as possible, but it was too late.
First crew did have heavy fire conditions on the front side of the house where she was located in the living room / hallway.
We spoke to neighbors in the area and they tell us it was a terrifying situation overnight. 2 neighbors who live on this block tell us that they saw the flames shooting through the top of the roof. And take a look at what we are seeing today. Take a look at the condition of what used to be a home. Blackened, burnt, and charred. The condition so terrible that a demolition crew actually drove by earlier in the day trying to evaluate how they plan to proceed. Right now, we are still waiting to learn the name of the woman who died. We are still waiting to learn how this fire started.
We have arson investigators and fire investigators on the scene trying to get to the cause and origin.
I know. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Adding to the stress of parenting during this pandemic is confusion about what to do after your child has tested positive for COVID, but is now ready to go back to school. There are questions for teachers and school staff, too. Some districts are following TEA guidelines, others relying on the CDC. But is a negative test needed before returning to campus? Jesse DeGollado has that story.
They've lined up for the only event on weekdays at the Northeast Sports Park, COVID-19 testing for Northeast ISD students and staff. Testing which has been hard to come by elsewhere.
So we pretty much expect to wait in line to get tested and wait for results. So
worth the wait, they say, especially if someone may be feeling symptoms.
But it's just better to get checked before you give it to other people.
The rapid tests given here also are offered at each of its schools with parental permission. But otherwise,
don't panic if you can't find a test.
The district spokesperson says any ISD doesn't require a negative test to return to school.
But it will help you get in to school just a little bit quicker if that's the route that you want to take.
That's similar to other districts. Some may require a more accurate PCR test to confirm a negative rapid test. Whether they quarantine 5 or 10 days also can vary from district to district. At Northeast, no test may mean being out a little longer.
But once those 5 days of quarantine have passed, you can return with or without a test.
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
Well, we've seen the spike in cases and the testing issues. We're trying to clear up some problems, though, that happened at 2 local testing companies this week. Nonprofit Community Labs confirms a delay in their test results due to a shipping problem last week. We spoke to the president, Sal Weber, today, who says a shipment of chemicals used in their labs was held up in Nashville, where FedEx encountered some bad weather.
So we are still behind on processing tests within 24 hours. We had a FedEx logistics issue. That issue has been resolved, but now we're in catch-up mode. So we're working 24 hours a day trying to catch up.
Yeah, and it wasn't just community labs. Today, people reported their curative testing appointments were canceled. And when they went to the website, it did not show any operating sites in the city of San Antonio. So we began asking questions. Around 2 o'clock this afternoon, the curative website began to show San Antonio locations again with available appointments. The curative communications director told us the issue was a technical issue on their website.
Given the massive demand for it amid this latest COVID surge, Bexar County commissioners today agreeing to spend $1.3 million on testing. The county is using federal money from the American Rescue Plan Act. Garrett Berger tells us how that money will be put to use.
So people are scared, I think.
As COVID cases continue to climb, the demand for testing does too.
Right now, there's a lot of frustration about getting tested, but I think both with the city's commitment and the county's commitment, hopefully you all can help address that.
County commissioners agreed to allocate up to another $300,000 to Con Corazon San Antonio. The nonprofit's focused on providing testing to students and staff from Bexar County schools, as well as their families if there's a positive case. It had previously reduced its testing sites down to 2, but Con Corazon says it plans to open a 3rd.
For a moment, there wasn't a need, and now there's another surge. And so we're willing to look at the data, and figure out the best place to service those people in most need.
The lion's share of the money, $1 million, is for the nonprofit Community Labs, which is already in the midst of opening 6 free public testing locations for the city of San Antonio. For the county, they'll also open up testing sites at Wonderland of the Americas Mall and at a senior center in Converse, both of which could have more accessible hours after they get up and running.
We're going to look at expanding to weekends as well, and if those hours aren't enough, then we can open earlier and stay later.
Community Labs plans to open its Wonderland site on Friday and its Converse site on Monday. Con Corazon says its 3rd site could be up and running as early as next week. I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
As Governor Greg Abbott continues his campaign for governor, his latest stop brought him here to San Antonio, where he met with members of the Deputy Sheriff's Association. Our Stefania Jimenez breaks down why the governor may have chosen San Antonio.
There's a reason that the governor is here. South Texas is a major battleground area in the state of Texas. It also has a very large Hispanic population, which the governor needs to chip away at, needs to get some Hispanic support in order to earn a 3rd term in office. And speaking of support, the governor just received that from the Deputy Sheriff's Association this afternoon. Its members announcing that they were endorsing him as he continues running for governor. Now, the governor is making support for law enforcement and border security some of his key issues that he hopes will set him apart from his GOP rivals. The latest UT Texas Tribune poll shows him polling well ahead of GOP rivals Allen West and Don Hoffines, and they've been attacking him on the way that he's handled COVID, the presidential recount, and the power grid, which is something, of course, on the minds of many Texans as we approach 1 year since the winter storm that left more than 300,000 homes and businesses in our area without power for days. This is also a hot topic, let's not forget, as CPS Energy says that it wants to raise rates for customers, something the governor also spoke about this afternoon. Listen.
There's a lot of complexities involving CPS, and they're going to have to make their own decisions about what is the right pathway forward.
If the rate hike proposed by CPS Energy goes through, the average customer would pay about $5 extra a month on their bills. But it's important to note that that's not official just yet, because before that would go into effect, City Council here would need to sign off on that. And we know that council members are set to take up that very issue on Thursday. Stefania Jimenez, KSAT 12 News.
Do you remember those images? Just a few months ago, we saw this play out in Del Rio. Thousands of Haitian migrants arriving at our border hoping to apply for asylum here in the U.S. We now know that many were sent back to Haiti or to Mexico without being given that chance.
As an immigration attorney, I know these kind of flagrant violations of the rule of law shouldn't be happening here in the U.S. People should have their day in court. Due process is due to them.
Now, the reason those migrants weren't allowed to apply for asylum is something known as Title 42. It is a little-known federal provision, and the effect that it's had on the immigration system, plus the difference between seeking asylum in the U.S. versus coming into the country for other reasons, all of those are topics of tonight's new episode of KSAT Explains. You can stream KSAT Explains Seeking Asylum at 7 o'clock right after this newscast. You can watch it on KSAT.com and on the KSAT Facebook page. Now, if you can't catch it live at 7, we'll post the full episode so you can watch it anytime on demand later this evening.
Hamilton fans will have to wait a little longer to see the iconic Broadway musical in the Alamo City. Today, officials with the Majestic Theater announcing the touring show rescheduled for summer next year. The official new dates, June 20th through July 2nd. Majestic officials say there is nothing those who have a ticket have to do right now. All seats will be honored for the new performance date. The Hamilton tour rescheduled due to an increase in breakthrough cases among the cast.
2023. All right. Let's take a look outside with live cam right now. It continues to just be cold around here, Adam.
Yeah, another chilly day today. Feeling the chill out there. Our high temperature of only 49 degrees this afternoon. That's the warmest we can get. The average high is 63. And we started the day at 37 earlier this morning. Look where we are right now. We have some 50s out there. Stinson and Castroville both at 52 degrees, 53 Pleasanton, 51 Uvalde. But 45 Kerrville, 44 Comfort and Los Maples. And officially at the airport in town, 48 degrees, but Helotes at 41. And as we go through the evening, we'll gradually drop through the 40s, and I think we'll start the day tomorrow mostly in the upper 30s to right near 40. A bit of a temperature swing coming up as we've got a warming trend, then another cold front, and we're going to talk about it all, along with some of that sleet and grapple earlier today, coming right up.
A fire displaces nearly 40 children and more than 30 adults. What we're learning about the victims on the Night Beat.
Traffic is flowing once again on the I-35 frontage road on the northeast side. That's after a crash between an 18-wheeler and a train.
Our Samuel King joins us now. Sam, these types of crashes cause more than just traffic delays, don't they?
That's right, Stephen. Meyer, I-35 in that area is already one of the most congested highways in the state when it comes to truck traffic, and any sort of additional delays can impact when goods are delivered or shipped.
SAPD says the driver of an 18-wheeler was trying to beat an oncoming train when that train ran into the truck's trailer. Dangerous behavior, to be sure. In this case, the driver wasn't significantly injured. The bigger impact this time was on traffic, tied up on the access road for hours, impacting not only whatever cargo was on the truck, but also the stuff stuck in traffic. Nicole Kaskakidis is a researcher with the Texas A&M Transportation Institute.
And so when there's a problem, it creates a ripple effect in that part of the supply chain, from the good being made to being delivered to the customer, whether it's something that's going to Target or whether it's something going to a hospital.
More catastrophic incidents can have bigger ripple effects, like the massive tie-ups during the winter freeze in Texas last year, or on Interstate 95 in Virginia last week. Some drivers were stuck on the highway for more than 24 hours.
The goods don't get where they need to go. Jobs are impacted. The cost of doing business is impacted. There's often fees or fines.
Kaskakidis says projects like the one planned on I-35 on the northeast side could help ease congestion by separating truck traffic that's passing through from local traffic. There's also the advent of new technology that connects sensors on roads to trucks and other vehicles.
Being able to alert truck drivers before it's too late, help them get safely to an alternative route, and to have intel about the experience on the road.
Researchers continue to study the impact of the pandemic on the freight industry and some lessons learned. Trucks are still, by the way, the most freight is carried in our country. Look at traffic. This just coming in downtown I-10 at Frio. Rollover crash there near where 35 and I-10 come together. So this is going to be causing some delays downtown. We'll continue to keep an eye on that. And also, speaking of 35, a crash here on the northeast side. I-35 and Judson, those delays building southbound on 35. Again, we'll keep an eye on that throughout the evening. Steve, Myra?
You know, Sam, I was wondering what that building was behind the A&M researcher. And I figured it's Kyle Field.
Kyle Field.
Yeah, I was like, okay, makes sense. Perfect, of course.
It looked pretty cool.
It did.
All right, so outside today, we know we got the cold. We're waiting on some real rain, but we did see some raindrops and some other stuff.
Grapple.
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 A little bit of grapple. Mostly sleet.
Let's call the whole thing off.
Okay, I like that one.
That was good. That was an okay one.
It got robust laughter. We liked it. Grapple.
I can't give him too much credit.
I know.
Come on, Myra.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
You know how this goes here.
Yeah.
He gets plenty of eye rolls. Don't you worry.
I gave a good eye roll earlier, actually. A dry stretch of weather coming on the way, and despite another cold front, it's going to be a dry frontal passage. Gradual warming through Friday, then our next cold front hits before sunrise on Saturday. So those are our main headlines. But of course, earlier today, we had a little bit of sleet and some grapple out there. And here's a look at one of the photos submitted by one of our app users and viewers. And what it is it shows just that little accumulation on the elevated surface of the deck briefly early today. And some people thought hail was falling, and sleet is often mistaken for hail. But all sleet is a raindrop that freezes into ice on its way down to the ground. Hail is a completely different formation process inside a thunderstorm. But mostly what we had mixed in briefly today in some parts of town was a few little ice pellets, and it's loud. That's how you mostly notice it. You hear the ting, 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 ting. Pretty good beat I got going, right? Ting, 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 ting. And that's what you hear on your windshield, even windows of a house, and sometimes shrubs and bushes can have a little extra noise from it. But what we saw on the radar today across central Texas, a little misleading. You see a lot of red and yellow and orange indicating some what would normally be heavy precipitation. A lot of this was evaporating before it hit the ground. Not only that, the reason you see this intensity on the radar screen was because of a lot of bright banding going on. Frozen precipitation aloft that melts on its way down to the ground, and the radar sees that as a bigger signature. For example, if you have a snowflake, it's about six-sided, right? Each branch of the snowflake melts from the outside in, so there's a little droplet on the outsides of the snowflake, and it looks like a really big signature to the radar. So interesting stuff there. Anyway, upper disturbance causing this activity today, and a little jet streak moving overhead. The precipitation's out of here. We'll have the low clouds through the rest of the night tonight and even to start the day tomorrow. So a gray, cool start to the day tomorrow, and then we'll clear out from the north to south as the energy completely leaves our area. And I do think we'll salvage a good amount of sunshine by tomorrow afternoon. Here's our time lapse this evening. I mean, clouds and dreary gray day, but it looked okay here this evening when you put it into motion with our time lapse. 48 right now, dew point at 26. Northeasterly breeze now at 7 miles per hour. And where we had the clouds and a little bit of precip, central part of the state from Abilene to Junction to Austin, even San Antonio, that's where we have this little island of cooler temperatures indicated by the blue color. 50s outside of it, and even 60 in Corpus Christi right now. Beeville as well at 60 degrees, Cotulla 57, but we're already 39 in Fredericksburg. And tomorrow morning, I think many of us will be in the mid-upper 30s, but in the 40s as you get closer to the Gulf coastline. And then by tomorrow afternoon, into the 60s. Most of us in the mid-60s, Elmendorf 64 and Von Army about 66. Back in the low 70s by Thursday and Friday. Then our next cold front hits before sunrise on Saturday, dropping temperatures in the 50s for most of the day. Also, the wind will be a headline with our next cold front. Right now, you don't notice the breeze. You're not going to notice it for a few days. But check this out. Come Saturday, look how the wind just spikes. Not all that noticeable through Friday, but Saturday, gusty north winds 40 to 45 miles per hour. All right, seasonable tomorrow in the mid-60s, becoming sunny, and then nothing but sunshine Thursday, Friday, and even into our gusty and cool Saturday. And right now, we are anticipating a light freeze by Sunday morning.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, Adam. All right, the Spurs back home for a long home stretch, and they need to build up some wins here, Greg.
Yeah, they have 11 of their next 13 at the AT&T Center, and if they're going to help their teammate DeJounte Murray make the All-Star team, winning should be a priority, among other many reasons. When we come back, more about that. And the Georgia Bulldogs are national champs again in football. Finally, coming up.
Georgia on the mountaintop. Demons begun, and the drought is over.
Wow. It has been over 4 decades since the Georgia Bulldogs have been able to celebrate a national championship, and what made it even sweeter, they were able to beat Alabama in order to do it. But first, our San Antonio Spurs return home following their worst road trip of the season, just going 1-6 on their second longest road trip of the year, second only to the rodeo road trip coming up next month. The lone victory was on January the 5th over the Celtics in Boston, 99-97, in DeJounte Murray's first game back after being sidelined 5 games in the NBA's health and safety protocols. The Spurs wanted to manage his minutes, but could not afford to do that as he scored 22 points in 33 minutes, including a last-second defensive stand to prevent Boston from tying up the game. There's no question that Murray belongs to be an NBA All-Star this season, but following the 111-96 loss to the Knicks last night in New York, the Spurs are on pace to win just 30 games this season.
He's had an all-star year. It's just that, if your team doesn't have a good record, it works against you. And there are a lot of good point guards in the West. So what he's concerned with is steady improvement, which he's done, both, technically on the court and leadership-wise. He's been great. There was no way I could keep him off the court tonight. I don't know. We've been on the road, I don't even know, 13 days, 12 days, something like that. And this was 5 and 7 nights, and he wouldn't even think about it. He wanted to play. That's just who he is.
All right, the Spurs will play 11 of the next 13 at home, including 7 straight, starting tomorrow against Houston, followed by Friday against Cleveland, Saturday against the Clippers, Monday against Phoenix, and then the following Wednesday against Oklahoma, the following Friday Brooklyn, and then the following Sunday against Philadelphia at 6. The Georgia Bulldogs are celebrating the first national championship since 1980 after they were able to outscore Alabama last night 33-18 in a game that was much closer than that most of the night. And what made it even sweeter is that they broke the stranglehold Bama had on the Bulldogs, winning the last 7 straight meetings. And Kirby Smart became the second former Saban assistant to beat his former head coach this season. The first, of course, being Jimbo Fisher of the Fighting Texas Aggies. It was a field goal battle in the first half with Bama on top 96 of the break. But the Dogs got their first lead of the game in the third quarter when Zamir White put Georgia on top 13-9. But the Bulldogs were the victim of a controversial call when officials ruled this is a fumble when Stetson Bennett was being brought down and the ball recovered by Brian Branch as he was going out of bounds. That set up a 3-yard touchdown from Bryson Young to Cameron Latu to push the Tide out in front 18-13. Then after all that, it was all Georgia. Stetson Bennett would throw 2 more touchdowns, and then with less than a minute to play, Keely Ringo intercepts a pass and brings us all the way back for a 79-yard pick 6. Wow. Let the celebration begin.
The tears afterwards, that just hit me. I hadn't cried in, years, but it just came over me. That's what, when you put as much time as we do into this thing, blood, sweat, tears, it means something.
Nick Saban was going after his 7th national championship at Alabama last night, his 8th overall, but couldn't beat Georgia twice in one season after dominating the Bulldogs in the SEC championship game 41-24.
If we had to lose a national championship, I'd rather lose one to one of the former assistants who sort of did a great job for us and has done a great job with his program and his team.
Yeah, congratulations. That was a well-fought ball game in that first half, all defense, until that second half just broke it open.
Yeah, and if people are barking at you today, they're Georgia fans celebrating,
You know
right?
why.
Yeah,
exactly.
Go Dogs.
Our KSAT Q&A up next. Omicron said to be less severe than previous variants of COVID-19. Yet you look at the hospitalization numbers in our community, those have been skyrocketing. So let's talk about what's going on in our local hospitals with Dr. Robert Frolickstein. He is Vice Chief of Staff at Methodist Hospital and President of the Greater San Antonio Emergency Physicians. Doctor, thanks for being here with us. You work in the ER, so describe the situation right now. We know the numbers are high, but what's different during this surge?
Thanks for having me on, and I'm sorry I have to be here again, but it's kind of like, here we go again. It looks, in the ER, we're really busy. We're seeing a lot of patients with COVID. I will say, thankfully, they seem to be less ill than the prior surges with the different variants, but there's still plenty that are ill enough to be admitted to the hospital. I think our hospitalization numbers are rising pretty rapidly. Hopefully we'll never get to as many as we had during the prior surges, but we certainly could be headed that way.
That was my question. Is it as bad as it has ever been right now?
With numbers, I think so. We're not there yet, but we could certainly get as high as we ever get before. But there's a lot of patients that are being admitted. They are not as sick, though. If you look at our number of patients with prior surges that we admitted to the ICU, probably more than a third were admitted to the ICU. Right now, less than 1/4 are admitted to the ICU. They still need to be admitted to the hospital because they need supplemental oxygen, but they're not needing that critical care. There are way fewer winding up on ventilators, that sort of thing.
Omicron is certainly different. So are you seeing more people who are fully vaccinated wind up needing to be hospitalized?
I can't remember exactly what the last surge, the numbers were, but right now there's, I think it's pretty similar. I think 70% of the patients that are admitted across the region, the San Antonio region, are unvaccinated. That obviously leaves 30% that are vaccinated. And if you break down that vaccinated, I would say that the majority of those that are vaccinated did not get the booster. But I don't know those numbers exactly. That's just kind of my gestalt from seeing patients.
I got another question along that line. What are the symptoms that you're seeing? Are they different with Omicron that you saw with Delta?
Maybe a little. I think it seems like maybe there's less lung involvement with this variant, and it's more upper respiratory, nose, throat. But I don't know if we really have enough numbers to say that definitively. But that's just kind of what it feels like to me when I'm working. That it's more of a really bad cold than really sick lungs.
Because of how transmissible Omicron is said to be, it seems we're hearing a lot more about staff shortages in hospitals. Yes, there are more people in the hospital with COVID, but there are also more hospital staff out because of having to isolate or quarantine themselves. So how are you all dealing with that aspect of this?
Yeah, I think that is definitely true of this surge compared to the prior surges. And I would say we're just dealing with it. We stretch and we extend our shifts to cover for our colleagues that are unable to work. The nursing staff has been incredible at picking up extra shifts and working to make things work while our staff are at home ill or in quarantine.
Because the Omicron is generally thought of, not always, but generally thought of as a milder form of COVID-19. Do you think we're getting an accurate count on cases right now?
I suspect that it's actually much more prevalent in the community than what the numbers will tell us, and only because I think there's many cases that are very mild and people might not go get tested. Maybe, and a lot of people are getting tested with the home kits, which I don't think are reported in the numbers. So I suspect that there's more prevalence in the community than is predicted by the numbers.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of times when you're talking upper respiratory, nose, throat, those are also allergy symptoms, and we're in mountain cedar season right now. Do you think somebody could have these symptoms and just think they have mountain cedar when they have COVID? Have you seen that?
I think that's possible. Yes, we see I know I've seen patients that ultimately come in and either need to be admitted for COVID or get seen, and it is COVID, that said, oh, I just thought I had allergies, which I always do this time of year. So it is very hard to tell the difference between that. And then there's still a lot of the usual seasonal viruses that are going around that produce upper respiratory infections.
Doctor, every time you're here, we say this, but we mean it. Thank you guys so much for what you're doing and dealing and adapting with this new variant and this latest surge. So thanks for your time as well tonight.
Well, you're welcome, and thanks for the thanks. It's good to feel appreciated.
Thank you, Doctor. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Just a quick update on the crash here on the northeast side, 35 at Judson. Traffic is improving in that area, but we're still seeing some delays coming out of New Braunfels, 29 minutes southbound, particularly once you get to 1604, so south of Evans Road. So keep that in mind. Also watching a situation downtown. Looks to be very close to the Fine Silver Curve, and it looks like that is closed off at this moment. This is the view from 35 at Flores. This is heading to I-10 West. Had a rollover reported there, so let's take another look here. As you can see the activity there. This is the view from I-10 and Frio. So that is still causing some delays if you know someone who has to travel in that area downtown. Again, this is 35 to I-10. That is closed off at the moment. Hopefully that does get opened up soon. Hope to have another update later. Steve Meyer?
Fine Silver Curve may have claimed another vehicle. Yeah, thank you, Samuel. A historic medical first. A man with a terminal heart disease has received a heart from a genetically modified pig. He's said to be doing well with no signs yet of rejection of the animal organ.
ABC's Morgan Norwood has more on what experts believe could be a new era in surgery.
We've never done this in a human.
Doctors in Maryland are celebrating a groundbreaking surgery after successfully implanting a genetically modified pig's heart into a patient with end-stage heart disease.
The animal heart was functioning, by my eye at least, just about as normal as we could have expected.
The 9-hour operation was 57-year-old David Bennett's last chance for survival after he was deemed ineligible for traditional transplant.
This was crisis mode. This was my dad was on his deathbed.
Doctors replaced Bennett's heart with one from a 240-pound pig, which was modified to function like a human heart without immediate rejection by the body.
It is a game changer. We have modified 10 genes in this pig heart. 4 genes were knocked out. 3 of them responsible for producing antibodies that causes rejection.
For now, this procedure is still experimental, not ready for everyone who needs a transplant. And the long-term prognosis for this type of transplant is still unknown. But the potential life-saving benefits are enormous.
Approximately 12 people die every single day while on the organ transplantation waiting list. So whether it's 3D printing or growing organs in a lab setting or donation, we desperately need more organs. So this is a potential reason for real optimism down the road, many years down the road.
And Bennett also said before the surgery that he looks forward to getting out of bed once he recovers. Doctors and nurses will be monitoring him closely over the next few days and weeks. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Why did dozens of ostriches cross the road?
Whoa.
Yeah. A farm worker manning the gate blew it. That's why. 80 ostriches spotted making a break for it. They were booking it through the streets in South China. Local authorities there say an employee forgot to lock the gate on a local farm. That's a major farm fumble. If you aren't aware, ostriches are some of the fastest birds on the planet on foot, capable of sprinting up to 45 miles an hour.
Looked like a race.
Wow.
With the help of police, the farmer was able to successfully round up most of the feathered fugitives. Got a good workout in, though, it looks like.
Yeah, 45 miles an hour?
Yeah, when they're not putting their head in the sand.
Guess so.
Could someone just like stick their leg out and just trip them?
I think you would get hurt.
I don't know why they did
Yes.
I think they would jump over it.
But by the way, I did like the fact that you came up with a new dance for us earlier in the show, the Bright Band. Yeah, do the bright band.
We're saying you did.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so this is how the radar sees a melting snowflake in the sky. Snowflake, 6-sided. I've got 5 sides here, okay? Imagine I've got one more, and these are all branches of the snowflake. They melt from the outside in, and each branch develops a little droplet on it. And so to the radar, it looks like one massive droplet, when really it's not. It's just a melting snowflake.
That's not how you did it earlier.
How did I do it earlier?
I mean, that was a pretty good.
Close.
That was a pretty good rendition.
Kind of had your legs and your arms going, and you're kind of shuffling back and forth, and
get my hips into it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone is welcome.
Well, I can't execute it perfectly every time, but I'll try.
All right. The bright band.
The bright band.
Yeah. Look for it at a club near you.
Known as the Weather Center.
37 this morning, 49 this afternoon. Oh, now I've got my mind going. Okay, anyway, 58 in Del Rio, the high. Cotulla made it up to 61. Those were the warmer exceptions out there. You look at the high temperature trend, back into the 60s tomorrow, and then Thursday and Friday, 70s. And then back down into the 50s for Saturday as another cold front hits us. And the wind is going to be a headline with that cold front. We'll get to that in a minute. And I also want to talk about low temperatures on the way as well. We've modified the forecast a little bit. Helotes now 41, Rio Medina 47. Stinson at 52, Canyon Lake 46, a mixture of 40s and 50s on the map right now. Del Rio, Cotulla, and Laredo at 57. You look at temperatures tomorrow morning, I do think a lot of us will be in the mid and upper 30s. So 34 Kerrville, 37 Hondo, 35 Uvalde, about 39 in San Antonio, and then a bit warmer in the 40s as you get closer to the Gulf Coast. And morning temperatures will be on the rise all the way into the weekend. Saturday morning, right before the cold front hits, will probably be in the mid 50s. But then behind that front, as of now, we are anticipating a light freeze come Sunday morning, about 31 degrees, so near 30 degrees Sunday morning, and pretty close next Monday morning, right around the freezing point. So it does look like we'll get back briefly to that freezing point for a few days as we get into Sunday and early next week. So there's a look at some of the bright banding on the radar screen, and it just made the radar signatures look a little more impressive than they really were. So you saw a lot of oranges and reds on the map north of us today, but it really wasn't translating to a lot of heavy precipitation or rainfall. And they had a mixture of some sleet and rain off to the north as well, but most of it was just rain. And then upper disturbance, see this little dip in the upper level flow near Dallas. All the energy southeast side of that, and even a jet streak overhead helping to generate some of that activity. And some of it was evaporating before it hit the ground too. If we had more moisture in place, it would have been a different situation. Low clouds are going to hang tight through the night and first part of the day tomorrow, but tomorrow afternoon we'll start to see clearing. And I do think that clearing line will be from the north down to the south throughout the day. So those of you from Eagle Pass to Carrizo Springs, Cotulla, Beeville, you're going to be cloudier for a little bit longer. And unfortunately, rain chances at 0% for the foreseeable future. I mentioned wind. You're not going to notice it tonight, tomorrow, or really all the way through Friday, but by Saturday, get ready for some wind gusts out of the north at 45 miles per hour because of that next cold front. This evening, a calm wind, temperatures gradually falling through the 40s. And then tomorrow, we start the day at 39, make it to 65. Not much of a breeze out there, just light and variable at about 2 to 6 miles per hour. And notice those temperatures, low 70s Thursday and Friday with nothing but sunshine and a lot of sunshine and clear skies for the next 7 days.
Thank you, Adam.
In case you missed it, coming up next.
Good morning to you. Hope you slept well last night or had a good overnight shift. It is Tuesday, the 11th.
We were there as Elias was taken into a police vehicle in handcuffs and then taken to county jail. Elias only saying to talk with her grandma and that we had the information wrong. Chief William McManus says a witness called in the information about the 2 kids found Sunday. When police got to the duplex, they forced their way inside of the bedroom. That's when they found the kids in terrible condition.
Majority of the free testing sites on the City of San Antonio's website are through Curative. This morning, some people were notified their appointments had been canceled. And when they went to the Curative website, it didn't show any operating sites in San Antonio. Curative Communications Manager Pasquale Gianni told us the website had a temporary technical issue earlier on that was quickly fixed, and any cancellations due to that were resolved by our support team.
At Northeast ISD, they have centralized testing sites for their students and staff, which offers rapid tests with results in about 15 minutes. NEISD also offering testing at each of its schools for students who have parental permission.
24 sheriffs throughout the state of Texas who surrounded the governor as they all endorsed him. Noticeably absent here was Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar, which is something that we asked the governor about. Listen to what he said.
I'm proud to be here at the Bexar County Sheriff's Association headquarters to be with the men and women who serve in the Bexar County Sheriff's Office and to be endorsed by the men and women who work in the Bexar County Sheriff's Office.
All right, a few issues. We'll go west to east here. This is 1604 at Culebra. There is a crash there. We've been telling you about the situation downtown. This is 35 at Flores. You can see at least it looks like the entrance to the Fine Silver Curve is closed off here, so hopefully that gets cleared off soon. And one more before we toss it over to Adam. This is 35 at Walsen. This just coming in.
And Sam, a cool start to the day tomorrow at 39. Then by the afternoon, seasonable. Mid-60s becoming sunny. Then nothing but sunshine the rest of the week through the weekend. But get ready for a cold front to hit early Saturday, gusty and in the 50s on Saturday.
Thanks, Adam. And thank you for watching the news at 6.
See you back here on the Night Beat at 10.